All right, guys, welcome back here to Kings of the Storm Weekly, number 10. I'm Solid Jake.
And I'm Kubi.
And we're getting ready to go back to Garden, boys?
Oh, the salty run back. I actually thought it was cursed for some reason.
They hosted Curse.
Oh,
and then
they did.
Chef is like, sorry, wrong map, so you got to hop into the new map.
Oh, it was cursed, and then they changed it on me.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there was an error.
See what they're doing.
So we're actually going back to the Garden of Terror.
Cheeky kids.
Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know if I've ever seen a salty run back on Garden, honestly.
I think EG did it once.
Once upon a time, EG did a salty run back in Garden of Terror. The Tails.
One time, just once.
Just once. Well, we're going to get the Stormcraft set up. 2005. That's the life we live today.
2005.
Good year.
Okay, so let's talk about what they could change in terms of team composition, just from a Wildfire perspective of things here.
Well, don't let them get a lockdown comp like that.
Yeah,
Maybe ban out Kerrigan.
I think banning Kerrigan is probably a good first step. It's a respect ban at this point. Kerrigan is already a really strong hero, and Mac has one of the best Kerrigans in the business. Don't let him get Kerrigan. I assume that they probably will have grabbed first pick. Wildfire has, and that's a good situation to put your team in. So you have first pick, first ban. You ban out the Kerrigan. It's doubles as two things here. It's a respect ban, so you don't have to deal with Max Kerrigan, and also you are basically forcing Barrel Boys to ban out Stitches. If they don't ban Stitches, you get yourself a Stitches.
That's true.
So there's a lot of an advantage here. And yes, indeed, the first pick, first ban is going to Wildfire. And I would really, really like to see that Kerrigan ban. Well, so there's a 95% chance we're going to see it. And there it is, Kerrigan ban. And 86% chance we're going to see the Stitches ban. How correct is Kubi? Kubi's correctness is... Hold your breath, boys.
Kerrigan, and here comes Stooches. Maybe? Nani?
Okay. All right. They're going to make us wait. They're going to make us talk about stuff. All right. I guess that's what we're here for. Well, I'm fixing the overlay for the game because the
sides have swapped for this next series. Wildfire says, look, the blue team, the left side is our lucky side. We want to be over there.
The left side is our lucky side.
They want to be with that. Now, all right, everything's ready for this game. Garden of Terror.
Nazebo!
And it's gonna be Nazebo.
Okay, does that mean that they're... I don't know how I'm not sure how Wildfire feels about just grabbing Stitches immediately.
I mean, I think it's a good call. If you grab Stitches, you set yourself up for stuff like making Malf really good, and then you've denied Kerrigan and Malf from that style, and Nazebo's gone too. So that whole lockdown style is gone. Now, the reason that I say that I like Malf a lot with Stitches is if you get the hook and you throw down the root, even early game, it makes it so that you don't need Gorge. Like, you basically have this root there anyways.
Sure.
Of course, that pairs well with Gorge too, even more effectively, because you just spin them on my lawn, I like to say. You just put down the grass, and then you just spin
just gives some nice imagery.
Yeah.
Just Stitches, he's out there on the Sunday morning with his nice cookie cutter house. His yard needs some cutting. Malf's there to help. Gorge is that grass. Spit him on the lawn.
Oh, God. God, why?
Stitches and their Malf. They're happily married, late 30s, right? In the house. Just spitting on the lawn.
Spitting on the lawn. It's a good life to live.
Oh, boy.
Well, while we're doing this, I'm going to give a big, gigantic, massive shout-out to Sia Steve, because he's doing live stats.
Live
This
stats.
event, which is actually crazy.
That is crazy. I saw that there were a lot of games already entered into that, which means he's pulling stats from games that haven't even been casted, so props to that. All right, so we do see that first grab on Tychus there out of Barrel Boys. So they have changed up their style in terms of what kind of comp they're going for. Last game, we saw that heavy lockdown composition with the Nazebo backup, and they've gone for that Tychus Vala, the oh-so-common 2-3 pick here. It's just a lot of damage output, guys, and it's something that if they can force a team fight that they want to take, and Wildfire has to sit there and take it, it's going to get scary.
Yeah.
And we saw that in the last game on Wildfire side of things. Any team fight that they took that didn't involve a Garden Terror looked pretty good for Wildfire. They managed to clean it up, and that's a lot of it can be attributed to the heavy damage output that Vala and Tychus have.
But we're seeing Big Blue and Little Red again, and I mean, that's, like you said, I mean, I just want to say Big Blue.
It's like, I don't actually have a point here. I just want to say Big Blue and the Red.
Gotta make that a thing, right? And I mean, they're the big powerhouses for the range. But follow up here with Tassadar. I mean, he's such a strong pick in general. I mean, we talk about him as like that flex hero. He's labeled as a support, but his damage output is pretty much on par with these other guys, and he has the healing ward. He has the vision. He gives him the D. He hits D, and you get Oracle.
Gives him the D.
And he sees all the things. I mean, that's
he does see
the power of the D is strong.
The power of the D is strong. Things you can quote Jake on. All right. Let me ask you. Actually, I was going to have a question, and then I realized that I had flipped the teams around. I was going to say, what should they do to deny that type of aggressive comp, but everything has been completely flipped. I think Stitches is a very good start to that.
Yeah.
And Stitches Uther, that's also pretty scary too, I hear.
They can actually do the full-on double healer style with this. Impossible to kill if they just go and grab. I mean, honestly, they could grab Malf here still, and for their DPS, they could do something cheeky. They could grab Thrall. They could grab a lot of heroes. Honestly, Hammer would still work.
So, okay, they're going for Muradin.
Okay, and Brightwing.
So, okay, so they're just locking down their warrior.
Pretty standard style. This is double assassin, tank heals, and we'll see a final assassin to round this out. Actually, I like Barrel Boys finishing their roster out with something like Tyrande.
Tyrande, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely a possibility. It just helps to, especially if they end up grabbing a double healer. Yeah, if Wildfire grabs a double healer, then I think that's a good way to counteract that a little bit. From Wildfire's side of things, Zeratul is still on the table. I was actually pretty impressed with Sheth's Zeratul for the most part. He didn't really overcommit too much, and he was dealing a good amount of damage in the early game especially, which is, if anything, that's where Zeratul lacks, but he was getting a lot of work done. So I'd be okay with them grabbing Zeratul again, especially when you consider the synergy that it has with Stitch's hook. And, Uther can also help to synergize with the Void Prison if he catches like 3 people in there, and then Uther walks up and throws down that Divine Storm. That's extra second stun.
Yeah.
I think Zeratul's a very likely pick here, and then they will. I guess it depends if they want to go for that double healer or not. I think that the best healer to pick up with this comp, I think. I was going to say Brightwing, but yeah, Barrel Boys already did a good job denying that. Aside from that, I don't think Rhaegar's that really great of a pick. Stitches is already pretty tanky as it is, and I'm not sure if you really need to grab that single heal. So I think you're right, Malf. Malf's Zeratul wouldn't surprise me here, and if they want to go for extra damage on top of what they already have with Tassadar, let's see what is available. That's still a good idea. Thrall's a possibility.
Yeah,
I don't know if they have anyone that's really solid on Jaina, on Wildfire. That's a possibility. Hammer's a possibility.
That bonus pool is winding down, so we're going to really see what they want to do here. I mean, like you said, they're going to get one damage dealer, but they could go for either double support. Okay, there's Zeratul. So they're going for the hook VP power threat. I mean, that's a huge threat.
Plus Divine Storm. Everything on the rest of the team points towards this being a very smart pick.
Yep.
And especially when you consider that I thought Sheth did a pretty good job on Zeratul last game.
But do they go Malf as well? That's my question.
Malf is a possibility if they want to go that double healer. Otherwise, I think it's going to be Hammer, assuming that they have...
Yeah,
I'm not too familiar with Wildfire's hero pool, but if they have someone that can play Hammer, I think that's a fine pickup.
They definitely do. At this point, it's not really common to have these top teams with small hero pools. Like, everybody has really...
Well, I say hero pool, and what I really mean is, yeah, I'm sure that everyone on Wildfire can probably play every hero to a pretty reasonable standard, but it's like, where do they have those heroes that shine? Like, are they really setting the bar with those heroes? If they aren't, maybe it's not that great of an idea. Okay, there's the Jaina that I mentioned. You do have...
I'm wiggling in my seat. I love seeing Miss Proudmoore.
What does Jaina like? Jaina likes situations where she can throw down a lot of her spells and feel pretty safe in terms of what's happening from the other team. There's a lot of range dealers. There's no one on the Barrel Boy side of things that's like, I'm going to get in your face and zone you off for the rest of the fight.
Here's what Jaina doesn't like. When Stitches hooks Tychus into her face and then she has to scream and run away. That's what Jaina doesn't like.
That's why she gets sprint at 13.
That's true. That's true.
But, I mean, we're going to see a lot of control over the target that gets hooked. So we have a situation of Hook Gorge.
Yep.
Into Void Prison, the other team. Uther will then walk forward and Divine Storm. The rest of the team that got into the Void Prison. You also have Blizzard and Crown of Cold going down after that. I really like Wildfire's composition. I think they did a considerably better job drafting than they did
I'm all about
last
this.
game.
I am all about this comp.
So, yeah, they're back on the same map. It was already a close match. And I think if they play their cards right, ESV Wildfire can absolutely take this to a game number 3. Yeah. And we see Tyrael picked up for the last grab on Barrel Boy's side of things. I think this is to be like a... I don't know about this. Maybe they'll prove me wrong here. So, I mean, the Tyrael... I think it's an attempt to save whoever gets hooked. So as soon as someone gets hooked in, right, you Judgment, to sort of disrupt the rest of Wildfire so that they can't immediately eliminate that. Yeah, Muradin can leap in. Brightwing, I'm not really sure if Brightwing's going to go Emerald Wind or Blink. I guess either could work. Blink at least gets you closer to the target that gets hooked. Emerald Wind might be just useful as sort of a disruption for the rest of the enemy team. But Vala Tychus, they're going to have a hard time catching up to that team fight. And that's really not what you want for those two heroes. You want a situation where they can unload the strafe, pop into Odin, and just sit there and fire auto attacks. Like, that's what they really want for team fights to get their maximum efficiency. I'm not sure that the whole chase the person that gets hooked thing is going to allow for that. We'll see. I mean, who knows? They could be going Sanctification, and I just have been talking for the last minute and a half, so that doesn't make any sense. But I think Judgment is probably going to be the case. Sanctification is still pretty rare among a bunch of team comps, but yeah, we'll see. I'm not really feeling Barrel Boys' draft all that much. I think Wildfire has done a considerably better job here going into game number 2.
Yeah, it's going to scale a little bit better for Barrel Boys towards the late game. I think it's going to be tough in the first half of the match. Once they have cast aside, I think that makes things a little bit more scary. If Jaina really gets hit by that cast aside, I mean, she's that one big priority target, but Zeratul is going to be so hard to kill. Stitch is super hard to kill. Tassadar, forget it.
Who did we see doing the Zeratul Jaina gank style? Do we think we're going to see that gank style Jaina with the Envenom and the actual? Oh,
yeah, no, we're definitely going to see the full on damage output here for Jaina, but we do in fact have our game loaded up and ready to roll here. Yes, we do,
sir. And on the blue side, the side you are looking at right now, guys, it is ESV Wildfire, and for them we have Iaconas playing Uther, C9 Sheth on Zeratul once again, Wargreymon on Jaina, Pickle's going to be playing Tassadar, and Bims on Stitches.
I don't even want to look at the other heroes because look at this Master Skin with
really
that white wolf.
That looks so nice. Side saddle wolves.
I own both of these, and I haven't done this. I've been riding the White Tiger. I'm all about that.
Do you think Barrel Boys has a nice surprise in terms of mounts for you?
We're going to find out. Well, Tyrael. Oh, that's a good start. McIntyre looking like a boss here.
Totally called it.
Fan is going to be playing as Vala Blinks on Brightwing Trummel. Oh, that's also very nice here. Riding his Cyber Wolf as Tychus.
Might be the best day of my life.
And Muradin with the...
That's amusing. But wow, I actually really like that Tyrael Wolf combo. That's so nice.
I was actually just talking about buying this, but the Mage Eyes, the Black Mage Eyes...
He's not feeling them.
He's not
feeling the Black Mage.
I might be able to get by it now that I see this.
I know, right?
That nice.
All right, so let's see what the lane compositions are. We do see that pretty standard 3-person 1-1-3 composition of that bottom lane. I was just signaling to Jake there. I saw the C9 Sheth was rotating down there. I got to stop calling him C9 Sheth because he is no longer on C9. I'm sure he'll get a name change soon. And yeah, we're going to see Zeratul doing a bunch of rotating between the lanes. Just going to try to get those early kills as much as possible. And what did we see Jaina go for that level 1 build? It is the increased slow duration. That is the same as the gank style Jaina that we saw. I think it was it this past
we're
week?
Going to see Envenom. We're going to see Northern Exposure. Yep. It's going to be that full-on damage output, keep you locked down style. It seems to be seeing the most success. We do definitely see varieties, but when you see her paired with Zeratul, that really does make the most sense. I mean, just having that full-on lockdown.
I'll be just very curious. Once I see level 4, I'll have a much better idea as to what style Jaina we're going to be looking at here. I want to say, was it Murlocs that went Jaina? I think it was Murlocs. Was it Murlocs versus Vortex? I think that was the game that we did see that.
Was it Vortex or Temple Storm? I think it was against the...
No, it was Thursday we saw it.
No, this was Barrel Boys where we saw
Jaina
Zeratul, and it was against double support, I believe. I think this was ESL. We cast so many games now that it's actually everything's a blur. But I remember McIntyre saying that was us that did that.
So it was Murlocs.
It was?
It was Murlocs versus Vortex. Game 2 on Dragonshire.
Okay. All right, Kubi, you win. You win this round. You've
Gotcha.
got your notepad with all your
Yeah, I got my
sheet.
stats. Okay. All right. So, yeah, we do have the level 4. I'm going to be paying a good bit of attention here. And it is Arcane Intellect.
Okay. All right. This is a Jaina that speaks my language.
Yeah. What language is that?
So far, this is my build. All right. All right.
Okay.
I do like to get the increased range on the Q sometimes, but I do like Deep Chill and AI. AI, of course, Arcane Intellect, that pretty much refunds mana when you cast spells on targets that have already been chilled. The chill is applied by any AoE. So if you throw down that Cone of Cold and then you throw a Blizzard onto those targets, you just have unlimited mana. You get mana for casting spells. It's great.
All right, let's look at some of these other talents that we have picked up for Barrel Boys. We do see the Angelic Absorption on Tyrael. That's extra healing for anyone that gets hit while they get shielded from Tyraels. And we do see Fan that is perhaps a bit extended forward. That Storm
goodness,
is not quite enough. The shield is so good. Yep.
So
absolutely.
clutch. Blinks, well done there. Level 4, getting that shield. Now the healing word got a lot of use here out of Pickles. Wargreymon, the Blizzard went down. Vault straight through there, not hitting any ticks of the Blizzard, allowing the Vault player to survive. Very close fight right there.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, and nicely done with it. That shield was very, very clutch. And we do have the seeds split pretty evenly. If we see both teams just take the camps that are on their respective side of the map, it's usually a 30-30 split. So yeah, so far teams haven't really invested too heavily into taking any of these terrors. We see a bit of a rotation here for Barrel Boys. They're just shifting up to mid. They're just trying to keep tabs on what Wildfire is doing. You do see level 7 is hit for Barrel Boys. Anything interesting here? Gust of Healing for Brightwing. That might point towards an Emerald Wind, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, it can go both ways. Sometimes if you're not feeling it, you think you need the extra sustain on your team, you do see Blink Heal with Gust of Healing. It just provides the maximum type healing. And that's a Brightwing style that has kind of fallen off. It's not common, but it's
the
still
full heal.
Very viable. And I like the fact that they didn't actually go for Cleanse here, because the only thing there's multiple things you can cleanse, and cleansing hooks is great. They need the sustain. They really do.
Yeah, that's a good point, especially when you consider there's a lot of situations where Jaina might be able to just unload a bunch of spells and really rack that damage up. Especially.
True. But Iacona is going to be taking a lot of damage here. We have this big rotation down. The healing ward is in a really good spot to the point where it's just healing him up nicely. The shield goes down on Iacona. He's getting very low. A second shield going down there.
Yeah, that was good.
That's the power of having both Tassadar and Uther on the same team. He taps so well, and he's in a good position. A blind hook goes out of Bims, trying to find someone, but he's going to hit nothing here. And this fight is still underway. Yep. Fury is going to throw that hammer down and hit Pickles. Grenade going to get whiffed. And, a lot of abilities going out. A lot of characters getting very low, but no kills.
One's dying, yep. And, this is pretty much a fight over who gets to capitalize on this. A really, really nice hook and Gorge, not Gorge, sorry. On the Blinks there,
yeah, the bolt in here, or the blink in from Shep. Yep. He's going to pop first aid to heal on up here. We see Trumbull is very low. Is Hook available?
No, not for another couple seconds here. He's probably going to try and hook McIntyre over the wall. Not quite. And okay, so we do see that whiffed hook. But it is still a 4v5 situation for Wildfire here. And they are going to be able to grab this Terror and...
I need to talk about this, all right? Ice
I was about to ask you when we had a bit of a lull here. How do you feel about that?
Not common at all. Really, you're giving up. No Venom level 4. We saw that. Arcane Intellect, I'm good with that. But Ice Flows, this is really just... They're making Jaina more utility than outright damage. And, the hit reduces cooldown by 0.5 seconds. That's very good, of course. That allows her to have a little bit more use of the ability. But it's going to be cool to see how that pans out, because this is actually the first time I've ever seen.
Yeah, that's. I'm thinking a little bit in terms of what the rest of her build's going to look like, and we could see the root at level 16 on Cone of Cold. And when you consider Void Prison hitting everybody, if you can hit everyone with the wide Cone of Cold, reduce its cooldown, you can have potentially a situation where you have a double 1 second root for Jaina on top of all the lockdown that's available for the rest of the team. It could get scary real fast.
Wow, they were 8 seeds away, but they did manage to capitalize and grab those seeds. So it's going to be 92 to 86 here, 88.
I was going to say, yeah, someone's doing some. Yeah, it's right there. I don't think either team's really going to go super out of the way. No, Pickles wants it. No, he doesn't. Change his mind. So, it's too dangerous.
Well, that 1 seed will just kind of float around until somebody stumbles into it. McIntyre? Does he believe? Nope. No one. We're still focused on the seed. No one cares.
All right. Hey, you know what? Something else we can focus on here is some of the heroics that have been picked up as both teams have hit level 10. Of course, we have the Divine Storm, Void Prison that we sort of theory crafted a little bit earlier. Archon is a pretty standard pick.
Yes.
grabbed it.
They got it.
Nice.
I was fist bumping into the camera.
We do have Gorge and Water Elemental picked up.
Yeah.
Honestly, pretty standard picks for all those heroes. And then we look on the Barrel Boy side of things. We do have that Judgment, so it is going to be sort of a chase the guy that gets
chase
hooked.
the guy.
Chase the guy that gets hooked. Because, I mean, a lot of the team fights are going to start with that hook going down. We're going to see it right here.
All right,
actually,
they're going for the steal on the Bruisers, and a lot of damage going down immediately. The Judgment goes down onto Wargreymon. That's the exact target they want to blow up, but there's the Water Elemental, and he's forced out Druid Might over the wall. Big Void Prism locking them down. The Gorge goes off. Archon is popped. Where are the heals? Where's the healing ward? There is so much healing going on in the healing ward. Again, getting that use 3% healing per second. Fury taking so much damage to the front line. The Water Elemental just kind of going to town. And these Bruisers being in there, they did so much as well.
Yeah, it's a very good point to bring up. Not something that you usually see happen, especially consider that Bruisers are mostly used just to soak up tower shots. That seems to be the extent of their use, but they got a lot of work done in that fight. Just applying a little bit extra damage. Gave them the edge here, and we do see that 2-0 kill advantage for Wildfire here, and they're going to be rewarded with a bit of a push on this top lane.
Now, we do see Brightwings going for this full-on heal style.
Yeah,
Blink heal with Gust of Healing, so that's the maximum amount of burst healing you can actually get on the hero so far. But Gust of Healing, that's the activatable, not like Regenerative Range. You hit D, and she pretty much just starts pulsing AoE healing around herself. Yep. Blink heal, of course, you know what that is, good and well, and Protective Shield. Gonna be cool to see if it pans out. And just looking at the charts, I mean, he's sitting at 10k already, and that's just gonna scale throughout the game. Yeah,
that's gonna go up considerably from here on out. So you pay attention to that. So yeah, I think everything is sort of pointing to, from the Barrel Boy side of things, if someone does get hooked in a situation that we don't feel comfortable saving them or recouping the team fight, we're gonna see McIntyre is gonna Judgment in to try to disrupt the enemy team. We're going to see Blink Heal going in, that burst shielding from that Protective Shield. We have a bit of a fight going on here.
That burst damage from the Water Elemental getting summoned is real. Trumbull felt about half health just between Zeratul and Jaina so quickly. And he's going to be able to back up. One more hit for Water Elemental. Not going to happen. The Water Elemental does end up falling. Cast aside there, doing some work on zoning, and McIntyre is going to be backing on out. This game is actually looking really good on the side for both teams, but I'm liking Wildfire right now.
Yeah, I think that they have a really nice composition to deal with exactly. It sort of feels like Barrel Boys' comp is just sort of responsive to what Wildfire has, and it's not really something that they can initiate on. I mean, they have tools to initiate, but what can they do to capitalize on it? That's what's going to be the tricky thing.
Improved Ice Block. This is definitely a unique build. I'm liking it here. I mean, really, Wargreymon is showing him his style of Jaina.
Yep.
And we've talked about this before on both our podcasts, Town Hall and casts in general, how powerful Jaina's kit is and how flexible it is. Even though she's not a super common hero, we're starting to see more and more of her in every single time. Like, she is like the perfect hero design because of how many different styles we see out of her.
Yeah, her talent tree in general is just very, very flexible. Like you were saying, there's just a lot of good options. She doesn't have too many global talents that are even able to be picked. I think like Sprint and maybe
improved
Conjurer's
Ice Block
Pursuit.
is
it's sort of like Ice Block, but I mean, like, she has her own twist on a lot of things, and it gives her a good feel when you play around with her a lot. You're like, okay, I feel like I have a ton of options available on just about every tree. Like, everything feels like a good choice. So that's fun. And what that really spells out for us watching these games, almost every Jaina build is different when we see. I mean, it just depends on the player, and that's it's really cool to see heroes like that.
Well, both teams are going to be trading out forts, but Barrel Boys have a big advantage here because they're already back here at this back keep. We can see this fort's going to fall, and that's going to be a hearth coming out of all of the members. Those minions going to try to be annoying, but the Putrid Bile on the ground, or just the...
That's his trait,
just his trait, whatever that's called. The Filth. But this Plant Terror out of Sheth is actually going to force them back. So what did they actually get done? They got the wall down. It's definitely something. But the Plant Terror is going to be chasing them away, and we see the Plant Terror has spawned on the side of Barrel Boys as well.
Yep. And we haven't gotten too much of an opportunity to talk about some of these level 13 talents. We did talk about the Ice Block there. So no Sprint, of course. That seems to be, if there is a standard pick for Jaina at level 13, it's usually Sprint. We also have the Wormhole. That's common. Prescience, that's going to depend on the Tassadar if they want to go a little bit tankier style or if they want to get aggressive with Shrink Ray. But in this case, we do see that Prescience for the extra survivability. And we see the Rock'em Sock'em Plant Terrors bopping away at each other. Sheth is getting low.
Hammered, right now. I mean, they're both taking a lot of damage, but Sheth was kind of caught between a Terror and an enemy team, and that's not something that you ever want to have happen. So he backs on up, rightfully so. The Sidestorm's going down to get this lane clear, and both teams feeling each other. The Judgment going down onto Wargreymon, though. That Ice Block is popped very quickly. We're going to see that Water Elemental summon to go to town. There it goes onto Trumbull. Trumbull taking a lot of damage. The Odin is popped as well. Void Prism going to lock him in place. That Plant Terror of Lynx is very low. Fan, one more hit will do the trick. The Water Elemental is like going with the weirdest pathing ever. Not very optimal at all. Fan
wow,
is going to
really?
be vaulting back. He is going to survive this. I mean, the shielding coming out from McIntyre's Tyrael. No one has fallen through all of this. Everyone very low. That Odin has been released from the Void Prison, but it's time to tick while it's in there, if I'm not mistaken. And it shouldn't have too much time left before Greymon taking so much. The shields, the heals, and he's going to be alive. The health bar on Tychus. He's backing on up out here. Poly going down. Kubi.
This is such an even game.
Look
at this. Nobody died in that fight. How long did that fight go on for? Like at least 45 seconds?
I was at 6 minutes, Kubi.
6 minutes. A 6-minute fight. Look at that. I mean, we were talking about a low kill count last game. We're 2 kills into the game at 12 minutes in. Jake's not going to map that for you guys, but it's a lot lower than the last one.
6 minutes. That's my final answer. And, no, I mean, wow.
Really cool stuff. I mean, like, how did Fan not die? How did Chef not die? There were so many situations that are really close. The Ice Block ended up getting a ton of utility. There was some overlap from the Cleanse and the Ice Block at the same time. But, I mean, everyone still got out of that situation. Both towers just, you know, colliding into the middle of that lane there, and nobody died. It's like a Dragon Ball Z fight.
Oh, Dragon Ball Z, that's a
what
thing.
A reference.
Can't wait for the Dragon Ball Z MMO to come out. I'm going to quit Heroes of the Storm the day that happens.
Wow.
Just kidding.
Just kidding.
Northern Exposure being picked up here. That, again, that is the Cone of Cold. So when you...
So yeah,
damage by Cone of Cold, also afflicted by Vulnerable, increasing the damage they take by 25%. So this is entirely leaning on the burst style. Iacona with the Divine Storm. Are they going to get this kill on Trouble? Odin is still on cooldown. Oh, just one ability. Brightwing phasing in. Void
That's going to do it.
They're going to lock this down. Judgment goes down. Just one Blizzard is all they need. Blizzard was used. The Archon goes down. There's the Odin. Odin, they fought enough time for it. Brightwing backing on up. That Blink heal. I mean, oh my goodness.
Dragon Ball Z.
The Gorge goes down. Oh, that is going to be the end of days for Fan. C9 Chef there in the back line. Alderman's Might and the cast aside there onto Pickles, but no kill for them.
That was a sick hook.
Goku went in and
he went
slapped
in.
Vegeta.
I was about to say, I can't believe these guys get so low every time. And that was almost another fight where no one died. And I was about to say before that fight happened too, these fights are close, but things are changing now because we do have Fishing Hook, the quote-unquote overpowered talent, right? That gives Stitches another 50% range on his hook ability.
Oh, no, Pickles is so low here. He's backing him here. He does have the heal here with his Dimensional Ship. War Greymon's going to fall. Pickles in a bad spot. Shep can try to look for something, but with Blinks has very low mana. That's the one thing they have going for them here. McIntyre going to lose his life. Ghost mode trying to blow Chef up. Oh, the shielding coming out from Pickles. First aid from himself and the healing ward to try to keep them sustained. The longer that healing ward sits up, the more use it gets, of course, and there it finally gets picked off, but look how healed up they are at this point. They can continue to contest this 1-for-1 trades.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that was a pretty crazy situation. I wasn't surprised they were able to get McIntyre down low enough, but Sheth has got them gathering power stacks, so his burst damage is pretty good, especially at level 16 when he has those double bombs, so we're going to see Zeratul being able to put out a lot more damage output in those fights. So yeah, let's take a look at some of these other 16 talents as Jake pulls away the talent screen on me. Nothing super impactful on the Barrel Boys side of things. They do have a lot of sustain type talents that they grab. Blood for both Vala and Tyrael, and Stone Skin for Tychus, of course. Stone Form for Murden. That's actually 50% HP over 8 seconds. So like as soon as he takes damage, any amount of damage, he can hit D, and that's just going to give him basically healing throughout the entire fight that he doesn't need to worry about. So if you see Murden what seems like not taking damage, that's why, because Stone Form is a really good talent for him to grab at level 16. Of course, Criterize for Brightwing at level 16 as well. That's just going to be 25% more damage for any of the heroes that are hit by Polymorph.
Wildfire took those seeds. They went up with their terror. They used it to bully them out. Oh my goodness, now they're going to hook this too. They were able to grab a plant terror on the side, but they're going to have, if they manage to collect all these seeds, it's going to give them enough for a full terror after this. They still have 40 seconds on this terror, and they're going to have a whole fresh one after this. And more than that. I mean, another 30, 40 seeds available as well. So this is a big swing here for Wildfire. The double terror is... I mean, it's unlimited aggression, and with this, they're going to look to really push down and get to those keeps.
Yeah, I think that this puts Wildfire in a considerably strong situation here. I mean, we talked about the fact that their draft pointed towards a much stronger ability to just sort of take team fights in general and deal with the early game, and they're carrying a lead as it is right now, and they're doing a much better job collecting those seeds, so they feel a lot more confident on the map.
Big VP goes down. Bims took a lot of damage through all of that, so they have to kind of just back up and get into a more defensive position. Throwing down that Queen's Curse, they hit Bims once again. The Terra is going to expire, and they really need to get a healing ward in a good position to heal on up. We see the person going off. Bims is going to end up falling here. There's no chance of saving him. Really nice body block by Fury, using that Dwarf Toss and the Avatar to just lock him down, and between the debris of that fort, the Terror and himself.
Yeah, so there's about a 30-second gap here before Wildfire can pick up their next Terror. They have enough seeds, of course, so they can't grab it just yet. So this is a good opportunity for Barrel Boys to go in and push, and they are going to get this keep on the bottom lane.
Yeah, they're making their Terror play look so dominant right now. The Strafe is going to town. Iacona, as a little squirrel, runs on away. The Polymorph is real. It's such a powerful spell, and they have the Overgrowth here once again, just going down onto this middle fort, doing a lot of damage, and looks like they're just going to back on up and put the pressure on from the safe position.
Terror's available. Are they going to try to stall them out from taking it? If they get stuns or interrupts on Pickles, no.
He is able to realize it. I think they misstepped that, but they do pick up Chef in the process there. So Zeratul is down. Pickles in that Terror right now. This is a full, fresh Terror. The enemy team's Terror has fallen. The Overgrowth going to town here once again, and I mean, it's 4v5
Yeah, this is going to be a mostly defensive Terror, unfortunately, for Wildfire in this situation. The hook goes down and it parts the Red Sea, of course, between McIntyre and Fury. No pickups there. It would have been a really nice hook because it would have been over that wall. Right. He does have, no, he does not have Gorge, not for another 5 seconds, but there's enough lockdown when you consider Uther and Jaina as well. That's tons of damage output. We see Beams getting really low.
Yes, the Judgment onto Beams. So much damage, but yeah, the heals are real, keeping him alive just barely. The fort falls here. This is a close game, though.
It's very close. I'm really enjoying this set between these two teams here. They seem to be very nicely matched, and we see another fishing hook going out. Not able to pick anyone up this time. A lot of the initiation in terms of picking up advantages in team fights is going to rely a lot on Bims to pick up those max range fishing hooks there to try and isolate members of the other team. The full Wildfire lineup is available, so of course we do have that Void Prison that can be used to sort of isolate the rest of Barrel Boys as they try to chase in. And a lot of it's going to be on McIntyre to sort of save that person that does get fishing hooked. So that's how you're going to want to watch it in terms of how team fights are going to start in the future. And just pay attention to that.
Yeah, well, they haven't managed to get anywhere near those keeps yet with these double Terras because of the good play here. But a nice hook onto Iacona, using Eldruin's Might to back on out of that situation.
I like that he didn't Gorge. I think that was smart for him to save it. Like a lot of inexperienced Citrus players, as soon as they grab someone with a fishing hook, doesn't matter who the target is, they Gorge. If you picked up Murd and Arterial in that situation, you're probably not going to be able to kill them. They have enough escapes.
Divine Storm set up. We see the Blizzard goes down as well. The Water Elemental going in, but no one has fallen yet. That second Hellfire of the Odin is keeping Trummel alive. Fan backing it out. That Archon taking a lot of damage as well. The Odin is getting healed up by the team. Prescience pops off. Pickles is running on back. Body blocking there with the use of Eldruin's Might. Blizzard is doing a ton of work, but oh no, the hook there on Fan. Pickles not looking good. He's going to fall.
And his body flies away as Barrel Boys picks up a 1-0 advantage in this team fight. And they're looking for more here. Bims seems to be caught in the middle of a bunch of Barrel Boys here, and they are going to get that pickup. Fan very low, gets that protective shield at the last second. Man, this is close, but Barrel Boys seems to have picked up a 2-0 advantage here, and this is going to give them opportunity to grab a lot of seeds moving into this late game here, post level 20.
Oh no, they found Chef.
Oh, Chef.
He's gonna
doesn't have the wormhole. Yeah, but he doesn't have Void Prison. He's not going to be able to lock out his chasers here, and doesn't have that level 20, which he would probably grab Bolt of the Storm. I would imagine that probably would have given him escape in that situation, but it is only level 20 for Barrel Boys here, so we can talk about some of those upgrades that they have chosen. We do see the extra range, and I think it's cooldown reduction? Yes, cooldown reduction on that Judgment. That's going to be allowing them to basically neutralize the extra range that was picked up by Fishing Hook, so that's a nice grab for them. We do see Bolt of the Storm on Vala. Storm Shield for Brightwing for the extra sustain for the rest of the team, as it is a 20% shield for their max health for 3 seconds. Unstoppable Force just gives Murden even more HP and duration, and so just even more annoying in those team fights. And Big Red Button for that extra DPS and AoE damage in those team fights. And what about level 20 for Wildfire? It seems they just picked that up.
Triple Bolt, we've got the Dark Archon, also known as Twilight Archon. And, well, it looks like we're having Uther kind of fight between Divine Hurricane, Storm Shield. He's really thinking about that right now. And we see that there are enough seeds picked up here on the side of Barrel Boys, and they're going to be grabbing the Terror. McIntyre on Tyrael will be getting into that Terror. Divine Hurricane was, in fact, picked up. And this will give enough seeds, assuming all these are collected, for the side of Wildfire. But Barrel Boys is in a really dominant position. They've got one keep down. They can get another one. They have almost a level advantage.
So we find Wildfire once again in a situation where they're in a really close game, but they're just a little bit down going into that late game where they're down in structures. They're missing a keep right now. What do they need to change about how they're approaching these team fights to sort of get themselves a bit of a leg up to bring themselves back in the game?
They're doing this whole burst thing, and they're trying so hard to burst. It seems like every time their target has been Tychus, and Tychus just pops Odin and ends up living. Yeah. And then he has like just a little bit of health left afterwards.
Yeah, that was a big deal in that last fight.
It was.
Like, it really
the last two fights.
Yeah, and now that he has Big Red Button, he's going to get even more value out of that sliver of HP that he has while he's in Odin. So
I think they need to either get Right Wing locked down. Blink Heal makes it very hard to do, or maybe they get, oh, that's a really nice hook there on McIntyre, blowing up this Terror. It might be exactly what they need, actually. I mean, that Terror is very low. There's a ton of health bar left on this guy here, played by Chef, but that keep does fall here. But Fan or Brightwing, that's the point. I think they have to kill one of them very quickly, because Tychus, that seems to be their primary target they're going for, and it's not working out.
Yeah, I mean, if the lockdown is good, especially from Uther here, okay, that's absolutely going to spell the end of this Terror here, especially when you consider this is a 23-minute Terror. Those slaps hit pretty hard from the opposing Terrors. And this puts Wildfire in a pretty good situation to chase. By the time they get to that gate, I think the hook's going to be up, and there it is onto Murden. Are they going to be able to lock him down enough to get away? The Stone of Justice goes down.
Oh my goodness, Divine Storm.
Not enough.
I mean, yeah, everything went out. The Storm Shield there was used as Judgment onto Iacona, doing a lot of damage, but that Healing Ward, again, that is a big thing that you have to consider. It's getting a ton of use right now. The Terror, they finally get towards this game. The hook goes out, barely missing.
So close.
Water Elemental has dissipated at this point in time. Terror Cell is down to 30 seconds, but it's very low in health.
I mean, just look at Curse Fury's HP. Like, he took so much damage in that fight. That is like the power of Stone Form and the Avatar. Like, it's so hard to kill him. That's why you just see teams straight up ignore him. And once you see that nice hook going down on the trouble there.
And yeah, Chef is about to fade here from this Terror. This makes Void Prison a available thing. They still have Gorge and VP available, and in 8 seconds here, we will have Divine Storm ready once again. That is a bit of an advantage, but Odin is still unavailable for the other side. Yeah, they're going to decide to back up, though.
Yeah, it looks like both teams are going to back up in this situation. They're just going to take the camps that are on their side of the map. Slight advantage for, I guess, Wildfire, and just from the camp situation because they have more available. Assuming that Barrel Boys doesn't do anything cheeky, there is a bit of pressure here. Yeah, they have to pay attention to that. It's good that you highlighted that because those catapults are going to continue to push down that bottom lane because that keep has been taken out. Just something that's going to keep Wildfire a little bit distracted. You can see some of their members are backing up to focus on that. And absolutely, you can see that Barrel Boys knows this is the case, and they're getting aggressive, taking the Giants here. Iacona's going up to scout this along with Chef, but it's going to be too late. We do see this cap, and I hope that doesn't get them into a bit of trouble here.
Iacona is a little bit far forward here. The big VP will save his life, and they're getting healed on up, but can they capitalize on this? Divine Storm is available, Water Elemental available once again, but that is pretty much a BP that just used to disengage and posture for the battle.
Yeah. I think at this point we're just going to see Barrel Boys probably, I thought they were going to just posture to try to keep the Giants alive as long as possible, and a really nice hook on a Curse Fury, but again, it's Murd, and he seems to keep grabbing the targets that are not really ideal, I guess. I mean, hooking the Murden's nice because that sort of makes him uncomfortable. He has to use some cooldowns to get out, but it's rare in the situation where you're going to be able to kill him, as we saw in that last fight. So he's been grabbing Murd, and he's been grabbing the Plant Terror, but he really wants that Vala, that Brightwing, that Tychus if he can.
Now, Blinks has made his way on in with Phase Shift. All 5 members are together here. This Terror will be picked up, but it's not going to be anywhere near enough seeds for them to pick up a Plant Terror for themselves. Whereas on the side of Barrel Boys, they really just, if they clear up even these 2 waves and half of this, that's enough for them.
Yeah, that will be enough. And I think we're going to have to see Wildfire get aggressive if they want to, one, deny the Terror and pick up their own.
I don't know if they can even deny it.
They might not be able to, but they have the hook. And I think that that's something that they really need to use to their advantage here. We need to see a sweet hook over that wall. He's lining up for it, but he can't hit that Terror. If he grabs the Terror, that's going to ruin the situation for him. Actually, that's unfortunate.
They're denying seeds, if anything. They're forcing a position where they might be able to do something. Like you said, it's not really what they wanted, but it's still something.
They have no initiate, though, now. With that hook, there's no threat.
Yeah,
and
you're
Wildfire's, I mean, Barrel Boys is really feeling that in the situation.
Where's the VP? 6 seconds up on the Void Prison. Yep. That's a big part of this right now. The big red button going down. Just to zone them away, that's going to be enough seeds for them to pick up a Terror, which is a lot. Fury taking a lot of damage from that Blizzard. We see the Storm Shield going off from Brightwing already. The Void Prism did in fact go down to that Odin, but they blow up the Zeratul instantly. Like, honestly,
the power of that extra range on the Judgment there was really showing its worth. They were able to isolate Sheth even after he had blinked away, like Sing in a situation where you would almost assuredly assume that he is safe. And now we see that Wildfire is on the back foot here. They are retreating to their base.
Yeah, this doesn't look good. I mean, we're talking 45 seconds. Bims get hit by that cast aside. The body block's in there. Oh, but the Water Elemental comes down with the burst damage of Jaina. Wargreymon doing his best, but Bims so close to surviving. Not going to be enough.
Nice job there from McIntyre and Fury there, just to make sure they got that body block that was critical for them to be able to end this game here. And they do have enough damage, considering that it is 27 minutes into this game. They will be able to kill this core very quickly. It's already down to 40% HP, and that's going to do it. Barrel Boys will take themselves a very nice 2-0 victory over Wildfire. Some really close games. Those are quite the enjoyable series. Those teams are very nicely matched, and I think that, honestly, it could have gone either way, both games. So props to both teams. It was really fun to watch.
I mean, the Salty run back on Garden, and they made adjustments, and it looked good. We saw two very different games in terms of compositions.
Yeah.
And really cool style, a new kind of Jaina. Not completely sold on that build yet. I see the idea behind it, and it's very cool. And it's really good to see lots of different diversity out of Jaina in general.
Sure.
But, you know, they looked good. It's just Barrel Boys was resilient. And one thing that we consistently see out of Barrel Boys is they will never commit unless they're completely confident. They don't take fights they don't have to.
Sure.
They back out all the time, and they just constantly just say, okay, we're just going to get terrors, and we'll fight with terrors, and that's it. And that's pretty much what we saw throughout both of those games.
Right.
So well played.
Yeah, that was some smart stuff from both teams. Actually, I was really impressed with that series. I think both teams have shown quite a bit of improvement over the past couple of weeks, so kudos to both of those guys. We'll be looking to see both of them advance further into this tournament, because Wildfire is not out of it, of course. There is a losers bracket. I mean, it is best of one, so it's, as you would say, the shark-infested waters of the losers bracket. Quite a bit easier to get eliminated there, but they do have that second chance, so I'm looking forward to seeing what Wildfire can bring forward and see if they can get to that losers final and bring it back. Until then, we're going to figure out what our next game is to cast. Oh, Jake's bringing up the bracket. If you want to give them some updates.
Well, we can just read it off to you here. We don't actually have a graphic to show you, unfortunately, but Temple Storm did advance, and so did Murlocs Inc. And I have a feeling that's going to be going over on Zoya's stream. And I think, is this going to be on hold for losers bracket?
I'm not sure. We're going to have to check with
we'll find out. So it's very likely that we're going to be casting Barrel Boys versus Cloud9 Vortex, but we don't know for sure at this point in time, guys. So on that note, we're going to throw to a quick commercial break, and we'll be back in just a few minutes to tell you what our next game is going to be.
Absolutely. So you guys stick around.